Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Oh my goodness me. It's a late night start for me, or later in the evening anyway. Yeah, the kids are the girls, the three girls are in Cornwall this week. Both boys are at work this week, and we actually have a nice weather week. Doing great for my washing basket, not so great for the noise level during the day to keep the door open and film with Luna about, because yeah, all the gardening tools are out, all the DIY tools are out and all that jazz. So I'm trying to get my videos filmed in the evening. So I thought, let's start this evening. We may see if we can get some done during the day. I don't think I'm going to get this full section done with you guys today. But you will, of course, see the video as a whole. So I am on the last section of On the Last Day. So I'm going to start with my 939 as I have been doing, though I think I will go in. I'm going to do my 939 and I'm going to do my arrow. Is that my 823? Yeah, my 823. I'm going to do those two first and then I'm going to go in and do my ABs because I like to get those done. But yeah, it is very nearly the exciting time of getting to pick a new painting. Once I have dekitted this one, of course. But we are on, or I am on, reading comments, etc. out from Sunday WIP and Waffles throughout August. I did actually get to a few of them as well on Thursday's WIP and Waffle. So if you are only a Sunday WIP and Waffle watcher, that was a mouthful, and feel like your comment may have been missed, it may have been covered on Thursday's WIP and Waffle, because I did get through the comments from Thursday WIP and Waffles quite pronto. Plus, I am doing slightly bigger sections on a Thursday at the moment, because that painting is also getting very close to being a finish. It is all the finishes over here at the moment, though that one has got a few more weeks left. It is getting very close to everything all changing over here. So yeah, first comment I'm actually reading out is actually somebody who has started watching the June Waffle in August. She is on a catch-up. She's taken a little hiatus from diamond painting and in turn my videos, but is very much binge watching through through my videos, starting with June Waffle. So it's Diamond Calico Loom. She says, hi Rebecca. She says, thanks for another great waffle. She says, this one made me especially emotional. She said, as you were talking about dogs barking a lot, which yes, Luna does. Or she says her lovely Frenchie passed away 5 months ago, and she still misses him very, very much, which I am not surprised. I wouldn't miss her barking, but I would miss Luna herself. She says, the talk made me think about how much those little things, she says, might sometimes stress us out or annoy us with our pets. She says, but will make us miss them even more later. She says, Edgar, my dog, was a good boy. Hang on, sorry, just a little sneezing fit then. I knew that wasn't just going to be one sneeze that came out of the blue. sorry, yeah, so Edgar, her dog, was a good boy, but since he was attacked by a bigger dog when he was younger, he did not like some big dogs and loved to bark at them. She says, but when we were going for a walk, she says this could be annoying sometimes, she says, but now she misses it. She says she thinks that once they're gone, she says we cherish even more the past and we think back at them fondly. She says, though, thank you, she says, for taking me back down memory lane. And for making me remember some moments, she says, with her friend that she'd not thought about for some time. Oh, bless you. She says, wishing you a lovely week. And that's from Callie. Oh, thank you so much, Callie. I'm glad you got a smile with the fond memories and not just sadness. Because that's when you start to heal, I think, when you start to smile with the memories rather than be sad with the memories. Lady Dax, she says she's glad that it's cooled down for me over here. Yes, I'm actually having a lovely week this week as well. All the too hot weather has disappeared, but now we do have what I call some nice weather, what I'd like summer to be. Apart from it going dark this early, it goes dark so early now. I miss the nights where the light stays around for a while. I miss that. She said it's still really sweaty here in London. She says she thinks it has cooled down outside today. She says, but it is still 24, 25 degrees in her lounge, which is too warm for the UK weather. She said, hoping it's better tomorrow as she has an audiology appointment for a test and new hearing aids in the afternoon. Well, I hope it did get better for you. I know some of the days in our August were a bit too hot. Enough to stop us functioning, which is not nice when you've got stuff to do. Kaz, she says, hey Rebecca, she says, how have you been doing with this heat? She says, working on the unit, she says, in this heat, she says, is horrible. She says, as some of the time, she says, as well as her colleagues, she says, they're in the milk room. This is where they keep the maternal or donor expressed milk in the freezer. She says, and it's nice and cool in there. I bet you were all straight on. Yes, I will go. I will go and get that milk. I will go. Anything that involves me going to the cold room, I'm on it. Angela, she's commented actually on a June waffle from 2021. So if anybody else needs some binge watching, there is definitely some older June waffles about. She says, but what you call college is the US equivalent, she says, to their high school. She says most kids base their classes on what they intend to do with their life. She said if grades are good enough, she says you can qualify to scholarship. For scholarship, she says, to go on to what we call college and you call uni. Yeah, it seems as though, I mean, I'm not sure, is your high school just from 16 to 18? It's where the age is sort of, I know we've discussed it recently in some WIP and Waffles as well. I'm not sure if your college is like the 16 to 18, your high school, sorry, because that's what our college is 16 to 18. But if you include our last 2 years of high school, which is basically where you pick your options for your end of school sort of subjects, We have like 2 years at the end of high school, and then you come out with your GCSE qualifications, and then you go to college and come out with the equivalent to an A-level qualification, and then you can go to uni and do a degree. It's just weird how different parts of the world work in different ways. Jo, she says, well, what do you know? She's finally caught up with my videos. Hello, Jo. I've not seen you for a while. How has been working in another country been? And how many Heaven and Earth Design cross stitches have you managed to finish in your time? She says, hi, Rebecca and Zesty. She says she hopes we're all doing well. She says she can't remember the last time she commented on a video on the day it was posted. She says, not counting the June WIP and Waffle. She says, so it's been a while. She says, no worries though. She said she never did lack me time. She says, because a few months ago, she added a new expensive hobby to her list of already expensive hobbies, which is Lego. There has been a few that may have added Lego on as a hobby, and I can confirm it is expensive, but I can also say so is quilting. Considering my first aim was to do one quilt, I am currently on quilt number 4, but I'm loving it. My daughter took her quilt with her to Cornwall, where she's gone with the other girls, with Megan and Caris. And also some family members are there. And my sister-in-law has already put in a request, would I mind if I could? And I have been informed of the colours of her living room and her bedroom, and it's up to me. But yes, I already have requests for quilts, which I am sure I will be more than happy to fulfill. Work my way through many a quilt, possibly changing my mind every time which one will be mine and which one I will pass on and gift to somebody else. Maybe I just end up with this little cycle of keeping hold of whichever one's my current favourite, which will work well for me. She says, so Rebecca, she says, you have been my company while she has built the current residence of her bookshelves. Love it. She says, last June, she planned on working on her WIP that she started in August last year. She said she was only able... Sorry, I'm just doing a quick scan for any more of these. Don't think there is any. We'll probably find one later. She said she was only able to work on it for a few days before she got bitten by the reading bug, so that became her me time. She says, unfortunately, she says that is one of the hobbies that doesn't allow me to watch videos while she does it, so she got behind again. I get that. Words and words, too hard for me. She said she worked on her WIP only a few times in July and at the start of August. She said she mostly used tweezers, especially for square kits. She says, but after hearing a lot about Diamond Art Club multi-placers in your video, she says she decided to get a couple of 4 placers to try. She says, thank you, Jackie, for the extra encouragement. She says she's been learning to use a multi-placer on squares since it arrived. She said today was apparently a diamond painting day because she was able to finish 5 sections. She says she guesses that her multi-placer decided she was taking too long, that she decided to level up to a 5-placer by picking up 5 at a time, she says, which is making her think she should get the 5-placer next time she orders. She says, thank you, Rebecca, for the company and the wonderful WIP and Waffle. Well, I'm so glad that you're getting in the me time, even if it is Lego. I do have the Lego hobby as well. It definitely comes in waves. I do actually have a few sets ready for when the next wave hits me. It will, if it's not like before then, it will definitely be around Christmas, because me and Catherine love building Lego on Boxing Day. So I am pretty sure one of those sets will definitely be out on Boxing Day, if not before. But yeah, it can be rather expensive once you get going. Liana says she received her Advent box here in Canada. Woohoo! She says, and she is so excited. She says she has tucked it away until December. She says, thank you for the effort you have put into it. Oh, you are so welcome. I absolutely love doing the Advent, coming up with ideas for the Advent. And yeah, just the whole process, even just, you know, setting myself to work on the items I need to prepare for it from January, and going through phases of doing loads and then things in the shop getting busy and slowing down and then picking up again. Yeah, love it all. Love it all. Grey Legrand, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she is loving the new limited edition tray. She said hers arrived yesterday and was put to immediate work. She says she loves it. She says she's looking forward to the surprises in the Advent. She says her box is sealed and stashed under her diamond painting desk. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, the tray is this one. I think this will be the one you're talking about from August. And I'm still using it, still loving it. Still a little bit too lazy to change it out because I love it. So I just keep using it. Because, did I tell you I love it? It's my current favourite. And I can change it about all the time. I always change my mind of my favourites. I've just realised I've not even zoomed you in. So you're just getting to see my random screen on the bottom of my computer as I scroll through and like comments. But yeah. Okay, let's get on to some ABs. Let's go for this. We have a bucket ton of 666 to go. And grab one of these, and oh, we've got a longer comment. So this one is from Mysterious Days. This is actually on the last June Waffle video. She left this comment about 3 weeks ago ish. She says, long time no see. She says she is on part 2 of watching this one. She says no less. She says crocheting has truly taken over her obsession right now. She said not only has she taken on a personal continuous blanket, but she is also making a granny square blanket for a friend. She says, and she has a few more gifts in mind if she can find the time. She says she surely didn't need another expensive hobby. We never do, but you know, it seems to be a trend at the moment, and it's very much why I set quilting as my weekend hobby. And indeed Lego, like more often than not, occasionally that will take over for a small period of time and then I will flip back. Lego has always been a love of mine, but never one that takes over for too long. So I sort of let that one invade a little bit, because I know it will go again, partly due to the cost, but also, you know, storage and where to put it and all that sort of stuff. But actually setting my hobbies like quilting as a weekend thing and diamond painting as a through the week thing has actually really worked for me. But I do much prefer to diamond paint at night. So even at the weekend, occasionally I would diamond paint. But I haven't really diamond painted a lot in the day since I finished sort of my office corporate job. And the only time then I used to do it was when I was on like training calls, you know, where you have to listen, but you don't have to actually partake as much. Like you might have to speak, but apart from that, you just sat there listening. Oh, I used to love diamond painting when taking those. But yeah, apart from that, I've never been a huge daytime diamond painter. It's more of a evening, sit down, relax, switch my brain off kind of task. Whereas quilting can actually be a bit of both. I don't like doing all the cutting of the material and stuff as a nighttime thing. That's more of a need to concentrate. Let's have, you know, full brain power daytime kind of task. Yeah, I love to hand stitch the binding on the back as an evening task. So by doing it the weekend, I can just, you know, pick and choose sort of what part of the day I do it as. And then diamond paint, you know, is my evenings, which is good. She says her niece is now back in her home state and off to culinary college. Ooh. She says, which is exciting. She said, as well as she's gotten her learner's permit to learn how to drive. Fantastic news. She says she is still working on her math grind, and she started taking her driver's education classes, sorry. So she has something to flip between when she's motivated, but can't deal with the other for a while. So far, she said it's working. She says she really ought to stop trying to argue with how her brain works and force it to do stuff it doesn't want to do. I'm with you on that one. Have multiple options. When it becomes urgent, it will all of a sudden become top of the list. She said she also hasn't got a laptop fixed yet. She said, but her mum got herself one as a birthday present and is letting her use it since her laptop feels more schooly than an iPad. She says Bluetooth keyboard and Bluetooth mouse. Currently, she says she is working on Midnight Manny Kinko by Jeremiah Kepner as a stepping back in project. She said, as she hasn't really touched diamond painting since finishing her 30 by 30 of Hedwig from Diamond Art Club. She said it's definitely much better, she says, than jumping into the huge square canvas that she has set up for drills and chills. And now she needs, I know she needs a little bit of a head start on. She says she hopes all has been well with you all. And she's out hoping to actually be able to keep up to date, even if it's by listening as she crochets. I completely get the new hobby thing. I really, really do. And I completely get it sort of taking over as well. The only thing I can suggest is keep an eye out for yourself. Only you'll know when. When you feel it might be not as exciting and dragging a little bit, don't burn yourself out to the point that you put it down and you don't pick it up again at all. So just keep an eye out for the signs of the excitement level waning, and don't keep ploughing through to the point that you end up hating doing it. Put it down and don't pick it up again. just then maybe make sure that you mix things up a bit more, so that you can keep the love of crochet and keep going on the projects that you're doing. But yeah, it can be hard not trying to get too many projects on the go, especially when you are in love with a new hobby. But if you get too many projects on the go, it can then become a bit of a drag, I suppose. I'm very nearly, I made great progress on Karis's quilt the other day, and I'm very close to sort of finishing it up, and I nearly went to finish it up on Monday and get the top finished by sewing all the bits together, and I was like, no, because you want it as something easy to do along with your complicated quilts. So don't sort of rush through it, because then you'll end up picking up, because I'm doing a more complicated quilt as part of these sew days I'm going to. I don't want to then pick up another project to keep doing in between, in those few weeks in between each sew day. And yeah, get too bogged down with too many complicated new different projects. Whereas the one Karis wants is pretty much exactly the same as Catherine's. So it is very straightforward, and I've done it before. So I'm just repeating, and it's just nice squares, basically. So it's very simple and straightforward to do. It's just lots and lots of little squares. So I'm trying to very much make sure that I don't go full steam ahead with that one, and actually allow it to be my in-between project while I do this more complicated one over the next few months. And when I want a break from complicated, I can move on to Karis's and call that my little comfort zone, comfort blanket. Christina, she says she watches my videos. Thank you. She says when she watches, she makes key rings of diamond paintings. She says she would like to know if you start at the bottom or start at the top. She says she's doing a picture now. I personally prefer to start at the bottom. I know some people prefer to start at the top. It is sort of personal preference, and I know a lot of things that help a person to decide is very much, it does depend on the size of the painting, but it's also like how you're going to keep your painting when it's completed and as it's moving. So with this one, of course, I have started from the bottom. I actually like leaning on completed diamonds when I'm doing my next part. I think it definitely does no harm to push the diamond paintings in a little bit more as I'm working on it. And I find it's nicer than leaning on, say, either potentially cover paper or quite often the clear sheet of plastic that comes over the top of a painting. I find if I end up leaning on that, quite frankly, it's cold, which is why I like to start from the bottom, because then as I move further up, when I need to lean on the painting, because I get higher up, I'm leaning on the diamonds. Some people personally don't like to lean on the diamonds. They like to leave what they've done, complete. Another reason I like to start on the bottom is because I often work on an easel. I would much prefer hanging over the edge to not have any diamonds on it, so that it doesn't end up getting potentially a crease from them. But I do have a space at the bottom of my easel to have my diamond painting rolled up and just tucked underneath. So I'm not fighting with that overhang of canvas. So if you are working on a bigger painting, or a painting that you may need to move up or down depending on what section you're on, just think about whether you would personally prefer to have, say, the completed part hanging over, an easel or further away from you on a desk or closer towards you. If you're working on a flat surface on a desk, you may prefer to push your completed further away and then actually have your non-worked on part of the painting hanging off the desk. Maybe you lean against the desk like I currently am. And if you end up folding this and leaning against it when it's not got diamonds on, you can then flatten it out when you get further down. So think about things like that to work out which way you prefer to start or finish your diamond painting. Whenever I work on a flat one, like my walking in the rain on a Thursday that is a flat one, I do that flat on the desk. I actually have that rolled up and I lean over the rolled part, but I do roll it round a piece of pipe lagging. So even if I did lean on it, it's not going to squash it flat. So yeah, just think about those things. Or give one a go and then try another. Like, you know, if you've only done one way once and then do one way for your second one and see which one you personally prefer, you'll tend to find yourself gravitating and sticking towards the way that suits you. Okay, Lady Dax. So this was 3 weeks ago. Not to worry, this wasn't hugely recent. But yes, she says P. Jelly did have quite a few trips to A&E in June. She says all healed now. She says she is happy to say. She says love to you and all the fellow zesties. Well, we know what month of the year that P. Jelly needs to stay in the house. That would be June. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she trusts that all is well. She says she's loved watching my videos and my quilting journey. Oh, thank you. I do actually kind of want to show you my 3 finished quilts. Now they're actually like fully finished. But currently Catherine has one in Cornwall, and then she's going back to uni. So I'm not sure whether she's actually going to be home long enough for me to pinch it off her, because currently she just will not pretty much let it out of her sight. I mean, she'll go out for the day, but you know, she's not leaving that anywhere. Even when she went to stay in Liverpool for a week, which is where she goes to uni. She was doing something with uni, but didn't quite have a student accommodation yet, so she went to stay with a friend in Liverpool, and she took a quilt with her then as well. So yeah, it's actually trying to get the quilt off the child. So that might have to be something I could have keep an eye out for her when she's home one weekend. Maybe try and pinch it off her then. Right, I'm just checking my other ABs. I only have a few. Melissa Brooks, she says she is so happy that I am offering memberships now. She says I am the one and only YouTuber. She says that she's ever done it before, she says, because you're awesome. Oh, thank you, Melissa. And thank you so much for joining. I hope you are enjoying getting some videos that little bit earlier, depending on when they're filmed and ready from me. And maybe plan your week around them. Have a little bit of a binge watch when some come through, and then you may have to wait a little bit longer after that. Right, ABs, done. There is a lot of ABs in that painting, I will say. There is a lot of ABs. So let me pop that away. I also seem to have picked up, I'm not sure if it's putty or black wax. I think it might be black wax. It does come off, but it's like my tray needs a little bit of a wash. There's just a little bit stuck down there. There was a little bit on the top of the white. But I was just trying to get rid of it. There we go. got rid of it. Proper stuck down the groove of that was. I've ended up using one of my sharp tweezers because even my nails wasn't getting it off. But yeah, like I could wash the tray, but who likes doing washing up on a normal day? Never mind washing up a tray. Okay. Excuse me. Christine says she loves this painting. She says, but she finds the title a bit sad because it is called On the Last Day. She said, is there a story behind it? Ooh, I'm not actually sure. That would be quite interesting to know. If there, you know, even if it is a made-up story or something by the artist, yeah, if there's any sort of story behind it. I'm not sure. Maybe if there is, it may be detailed on Diamond Art Studios website. She says she's about to put an order in, she says, for the Advent and some other items. She says she's been holding off a little bit because of health issues, but she's feeling rather positive right now. Awesome news. She says her carpal tunnel has definitely slowed her painting down. She says, but she is pushing through. She says, you're amazing, Rebecca. She says, thank you for all that you do. Oh, thank you so much, Christine. Have you looked at getting some sort of wrist support, or have you got some sort of wrist support? If it is affecting your painting, might be worth looking at things you can do to help it, whether it be set an alarm for 10 minutes and doing a particular type of exercise to help it, or wearing wrist supports or something like that. Just trying to help keep you diamond painting as long as possible. So it might be worth seeing or checking with your doctor or something. Little things that you can do just to help keep it at bay. And then you can keep painting. Daylene, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's missed a few weekends of diamond painting again. She says, but thanks to my videos about it a while ago. She says they did purchase a book nook. There's another hobby. Now luckily it's my daughter that's actually done those ones of mine. I think if I'd have started doing them, I would have potentially gotten addicted to that for a little bit too. They got one called Magic Library. She spent the last 2 weekends that hubby was off building it. She says they completed it last night and they're both sad that it's finished now. She says they're already looking for the next ones to get. She says, hope you had a wonderful day. Oh, bless. At least you both know what is on each other's Christmas wish lists for now. And then you can choose to either do them together or do them side by side. Because, you know, it's just like putting another book on the shelf, isn't it? And I've just spotted a 939 that somebody has probably been shouting at me for a good long while. But there's a 939 there. Let's get that one before it annoys me even more. And do you know what? I actually am going to do the H. I was going to go for this little diamond one, but I think I am just going to do the H because it's a big chunk of some. Get some of those done. The Crafty Diamond. She says she also thrives and is more productive during chaos. She says if a day is slow, she says she tends to not get as much done. Then she gets behind. Yes, it's like this little cycle. Not getting as much done, getting behind, then it becomes chaos, then you become productive, then you slow down again. It's like this whole cycle, full on cycle. But you know, I get to vary things up. I've been on challenging myself week more so this last week or so, which is why I got all my cover paper done first. If I'd have gone for excitement level, I probably would have ended up rearranging the shop, which is still something I keep thinking about every time I'm sat doing stuff. Just a couple of bits. It's only a few small things, but it does involve moving some things off shelves and moving some stuff over to different shelves. So it will sort of trash the shop a little bit. Maybe not trash, just cause a little bit of upheaval. And yeah, I keep telling myself I'm not allowed to do it. The boss tells me, i.e. I tell myself, I'm not allowed to do the rearranging that I absolutely love doing until I have done the restock things that I need to do, that I still enjoy but aren't as exciting, because I get to do them more often. So yeah, that's what keeps powering me through, I think, which is why I was like, okay, I'm going to get all of this cover paper done, partly because I didn't realise the paintings were going to be delayed again, so I wanted to get them done. But also it's the one task that always takes me longer than my brain tells me it's going to take me. So I was determined to get that one done first. So yeah, okay. I absolutely hashed up putting that multi-placing down, so let's quit with that and go for some normal. Matthews says, hey, Rebecca and Zesties. Thanks for the nice whip and waffle. They like the painting so much. Ooh. Okay, I've just managed to push all 3 of these diamonds off. There's 2 of them. I have no idea where the other one went. I went to nudge this one down a little bit and sent the whole lot flying. And I will get back to Matthew's comment in a minute, but is anybody else like me when they're diamond painting? So this is a very, very confetti painting, as you've probably all seen, can see, and do already know. So I just managed to knock off another purple. Very, very similar colour. I am so tempted to just fill it in with this colour, which is another purple. I would never know the difference. I would never realise that I had done it, but I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. Is anybody else the same? I'm very tempted, because it's the last section, to just go, do you know what, I'm going to do it, let's be a rebel together. And sort of, you know, do a whole show the world it's okay to have put the wrong one there. But it goes against any grain of my organisational being, and I'm kind of scared that it might freak some people out more than those that would just put the other colour there and not think about it. But those that can't put a different colour in the wrong spot could potentially traumatise them more. So I'm very much undecided between just putting this purple colour there because it really won't make a difference in the grand scheme of things, to the thought of traumatising people by putting the wrong colour in the wrong spot on purpose. I have a few more diamonds to decide, and I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm tempted to turn the camera off and just put one there, and then you guys can believe what you want to believe in relation to which colour diamond I put there. Maybe that would torment people even more. Who knows? I think I'm in a no-win situation here. I think I am just going to have to go with what I need to go with. I just changed my battery as well, but the question is, I suppose, which one did I do? I know I decided to do it off camera and then realised that I'd actually missed a letter H up here. So I decided to fill that in before I turn the camera back on. Yeah, one of those mysteries. You go with what your gut tells you to do in regards to whether I should have put the correct colour on there or whether I should have just put a purple there, because why the heck not? It's purple. Anyway, Matthews, thank you so much for your patience while I went on a bit of a waffle. She said today, Monday, is the second day weekend. He said it didn't wake up very pleasant. Ooh. The landlord is completely renovating the floor below. So basically got woken up by the landlord doing some renovating underneath. They're also working on the painting with the skull, which is 50 centimetres by 100 centimetres. Thank you, and shalom from Belgium. Well, the painting sounds nice. The landlord does not. I completely get that, because, you know, sometimes weekend work is what has to happen. But sometimes it's just a nasty wake up when you really, really aren't planning on waking up. You finally got a day that you can relax and the landlord wakes you up. It's not nice at all. I've just spotted another AB that I've missed. See? Maybe if I'd just decided to put whatever diamond was around it instead, maybe that would have made my life easier. I just did it with the glue dot. What I have read somewhere though recently, can't remember where, so do forgive me. But some people do say that if you wet your wax or your glue dot, so either, I think the more humane people around have like some sort of wet sponge that they can dip it into nearby them, and some of us that are a bit more I don't care wet their finger and then wipe it over the end of the glue dots. Apparently that can help with ABs. So just a little trick for you. I've only just remembered it now, so it is not something that I have tried yet, because of course my brain likes to remind me of potentially good ideas or things I want to try out too late for me to actually do them, or past the time for me to actually do them, because that's the way my brain works. So yeah, it's just made me think of it now. Little random thought for you. Right, what am I going for? Let's go for this letter D. Nova Scotian Hiker said they're getting excited to see what we have coming for the December painting. She's finally placed her order for the Advent last week. We're very excited to share with you the December painting as well. I was well and truly hoping that it would already be here, but of course customs have their own time schedule, which is often slow. So yeah, we will be revealing all just as soon as we can, but I feel like it's something that's not quite as easy to sneak peek, maybe. I will speak to Megan as well once she gets back and see if we can potentially sort of start sharing some of it with you that will still make sense to what we're doing. It's just so much easier when I just have it in front of me and I can just talk you all through it and just waffle like I do. and explain everything. But we are doing a little bit different to previous years, as per is usual for us. Yeah, we like to do different things. This one's not too different, like not too off the charts, but I think this might be nice for both experienced and newer diamond paintings alike. Test people's skills, dabble in new skills with diamond painting without it being too overwhelming. That is the plan. Okay, throwing my pots all over the floor now as well, or trying to. I currently have, I've just turned round to pick up my next colour because I popped them on my drafting table because this painting's really big and I've got my computer to the right of me and I have no room to the left of me because the painting is going off the charts. And Luna is sat right outside my craft room door looking like, are you coming out yet, Mum? I've got frosted glass on the door and I can just see the dog sat there. So I might have to go and say hello to her in a minute and get a brew because I don't drink. I try and stop myself from drinking brews too late at night, but I do feel like I need another one yet before I'm done. Let me just do this number 6 as well. I feel like number 6 is looking very bitty to me. So yeah, hopefully that gave you a little bit of a hint about the diamond paintings that are coming for December. I think it's going to be fun. Grey Legrand, she says, hitting pause. She said years ago she heard somebody say, if you need to get something done, give the job to the busiest person. Quite often, yes, because they're probably the likes of the person like me when I've got loads on. It's like I managed to slot everything in to get it finished. I think I've got all the 6s. They just were very scattered about. They were annoying me. I think because I had one in here. It was this in here that's annoying me. Now I feel like I can get all this pink and red done. Oh, look, there's that missing diamond. There's that diamond that disappeared. I'm going to put that to the side of me. Just in case I can't actually, yeah. Do I fancy switching it? Do I fancy sticking it in another place? Who knows? She says the busy people know how to prioritise and get things done. Yes. Or they know how to prioritise because they've been lazy because it's been quieter and now all of a sudden everything needs doing. And yeah, they now know, or I now know, that I have to reshuffle and prioritise because I've had too many lazier morning and all of a sudden time's disappeared because quite often I forget or I lie to myself, I'm not quite sure which, as to how long things actually take, and don't quite realise that they take longer than I think, remember, or want them to. Could be all of the above. Right, I'm going to make myself a brew and say hello to this poor dog that is sat outside, who will probably jump on me. And then I will either come back this evening, or evening for me, or I will come back tomorrow. Not sure which. Right, I'm back. I'm all brewed up. And it's still the same evening. Though, I will just say, there has been, and still is, a daddy longlegs in here with me today. He wouldn't get out before I started filming this video. And he quietens down, and then every now and then he starts flying about. So if you see something flying about down here, you probably have me dodging out the way first, because I would much rather deal with a spider than a flying spider, which is what I consider a daddy long legs. But yeah, hopefully he will just settle his sweet little self down out of the way. Anyway, let's get some of these reds and pinks done and feel like we are making a whole lot more progress. I'm on one of these symbols that I'm probably going to end up missing some. So I'm trying to be a little bit systematic-ish with it. We'll see if it works. Probably not. But yeah, Grey Legrand's also left another comment. She said she said it's so satisfying seeing this painting come into life. She said especially the big ones, she says, that get worked on rolled up. She says on her large diamond painting, she says every time she finishes a row, she lays it out on her bed to admire it. See, I don't end up looking at ones when I'm doing them for some reason. It's very, very rare. Occasionally I will, especially if it's one that I'm like extremely excited about. I may have done it a couple of times on White Christmas. But normally I don't tend to sort of pull them out until the end. And I do sort of the big reveal to myself of the painting that's been done. Especially because I have found that I much prefer using my drafting table flat and using my easel sat on my drafting table. While my drafting table and the fact that it can tilt is great, and I do have a little table to the side of it, like a little pull-out part. It's whenever I'm working on this like far right hand side of the painting, it's nowhere near that little table for me to grab, so I always end up putting my diamonds on my little rolling cart, and then there's nowhere for my broom. See, I've just missed one. I've only just done that one. Yeah, so there's nowhere for me to put my broom, whereas if I put my easel on, even if I'm working on the far right, I have a little bit of space on my drafting table on the far right too. So it works. Right, I'm going to get this one, and there'll probably be more. But I'll get that one for now. And we'll move on to the next one. Where have you gone? Carrie, she says hello. She says in response to one of the comments that I read today, and she's put the date, 26th of August. Sorry, she put the date American. That took me a minute to translate. She says about our car issues. So we are officially less than a month behind on comments, which is awesome news. We are getting there. She says so far they have fixed it, the car. She says, but it ended up being an issue where they could fix it for now, but odds are it's going to happen again. She says, and at that point they can go for a warranty and replace the engine at no or low cost to us, but it has to fail a certain test, and at the moment it's barely passing, though it is passing, so it's not eligible for it under the warranty. She says, it brought up other issues that they need to fix. She said all 4 brakes need replacement. Okay, stick. I was too busy sticking to my pen. All 4 brakes need replacement, tie rods, serpentine belt, etc. And they've gotten some of it done to the cost of almost $1,000. Ouch! She said their plan is to hopefully trade it in and get a new car, if they can afford it, once she's able to walk again after healing from surgery, which we know from Thursday's WIP and Waffles. She's very much nearly there. She says, fingers crossed on it all. She said she just wanted to give an update on the car situation. Well, hopefully everything is hunky-dory and on the way up. That's what we want. Everybody's life and situations, etc., to be on the way up. And let's finish the end of the year on a high, even if it's cold and will be cold. Wendy, she says, what pen do you use for your A-B drills? I use what I call a pick-me-up pen. We do sell the pick-me-up pens in the shop. They have a different type of wax on the end of them. This one's a black one, but I have them in white, pink, etc. So this is wax. It's just a harder wax than what you get in diamond painting kits. And I keep falling back on these. I have managed to get putty multiplacers to work with some ABs. Sometimes if my glue dot is dirty enough, you know, and getting to the point it can't decide if it actually wants to pick up drills, it can be great for picking up ABs. But I always end up falling back to my pickup pen, to be honest, because it just does not give me anywhere near as much trouble as any other pens do if they're not at the sweet spot of picking up ABs. So a pick-me-up pen is my first love when it comes to ABs, because it just works. It does what it says on the tin type thing. If anybody remembers those lovely adverts. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, how many colour lots are there in the squares of diamonds? So they say, I think they say 442, but I think we've counted 453 different diamond painting colours. I think they're the numbers, but 300 or 450-ish. Let's say that to be sure, because I've not got numbers right here with me. But I know some of the DMC numbers that we have on our list, our DMC list. Some companies or some lists, when you search online, don't have some of those colours in their list, but I have spare diamonds with those colours. So yeah, we say 450 something. She says she was doing a painting. She says it was a large one. She said, and she can't finish it as she's lost too many beads. She says, you are doing a great job, she said, at keeping me interested in diamond painting. She says, thank you, Nellie. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Monique. She says, hi, Rebecca. She says she received a surprise package by mail, she says, from Admore Zest. She said it's from her husband, she says, but she's not allowed to open it before December, which is when it's her birthday. She says, thank you for all the great times with the Zesties. Oh, perfect. Love it when hubbies get it. Even if they have to be prompted, I still love it when they get it. And get the love that we have for things. Aaliyah, she says, yeah, year 1 of uni done. She's got 2 to go. Oh, plus 1 to 2 years of PGCE/QTS. Are you training to be a teacher then? QTS is teacher years, aren't they? I think I've got those acronyms right. But yeah, couple more years to go then, but I'm sure you will be enjoying uni life, that's for sure. Marita says, thank you, Rebecca. She says, for the lovely videos. She's just done something, she says, that only you and the Zesties can understand. her pain. Ooh, pain. Don't like the idea of that one. Oh, she says she didn't read a symbol properly and didn't realise until she was halfway through her section that she'd used the wrong colour drills. Oh yes, I can feel your pain. She says she would have left it, she said, if she hadn't have used green instead of 5200. Ouch! Green instead of white. She says, thank goodness, she says, for long videos. She says she now has me for company while she goes back to remove all the green drills. Well, I'm glad I can keep you company. I do feel your pain though, well and truly. Completely get that. The only thing I do suggest, if you make a mistake like that, whether it's big or small, whichever sort of size thing that you do, and no matter, even if it is the end of the night and you get so frustrated, do your best to undo the mistake, and then if need be, just walk away. Because you will be much more likely to come back to it to then, in effect, redo what you've done and put the white on, for example, if you have already removed all the green. And you can curse up a storm and shout at yourself or annoy yourself or be frustrated the whole time you're removing all those greens. But at least then when you come back to it to redo the whites, your greens will be gone. There's nothing worse. Well, there is. It's worse in the first place. But following the mistake, I always try my best to then undo what I did wrong before I walk away. Because I'm already frustrated at myself for whatever mistake I've done. So by fixing it before I walk away, at least then I don't bring the bad mood back when I go to do it again and go to fix it and then remember that I'd made that mistake and I still need to fix it. Just makes you angry twice. So if at all possible, undo the mistake and then walk away. But yeah, I completely feel your pain, well and truly. Liv's Dotting Den. She says, hi Zesty. She says she's been busy this weekend. She thought it was going to be a quiet one. Well, there you go. That's why you were busy. You thought it was going to be a quiet one. She said as she's done something most weekends. She says, but mum and dad came over to hers yesterday, which was Saturday, and they managed to put up some of her pictures that she had stored around the house ready to put up when the decorating was done. She said she had to wait for her dad to have his tools with him, she said, as she didn't have any at hers. She said she went to the range today to get her some brunch with her mum in the updated cafe. She said she was very surprised by the offerings in the range cafe. Yeah, it's actually really quite nice, the cafes in the range. She says anyone who goes to the store, she says, give it a try. She said herself and her mum will be giving the meals a try sometime soon. She also bought a couple more pictures to put up. She said the house is looking lovely, she says, but she still has a few bare walls. So she's sure she can put some diamond paintings up there once she's done. The range is good for frames as well. The range or IKEA. But quite often you can find some fairly decent prices for frames from the range, especially some potentially bigger ones, if you need any of those. Right, all my pink and red is done down there. I think I'm going to get this green done next. She says hopefully she can make a good go into getting the Dotting Den organised. She wants to feel comfy when she's working and know where her bits and pieces will live. she says she needs to have a play with her label maker. She says that'll be fun. Label makers are always fun. But yeah, I find a few bits move about in here dependent, but I think I've pretty much got it settled what I go to grab from my drawer. I actually only use one drawer under my drafting table, but it just has my putty handy and stuff for me to be able to change it in my multiplacer and stuff. I find I'm more likely to do it. Is that a full diamond? No, it's about 2/3 of one. Yeah, I find I'm much more likely to change my putty when I'm diamond painting in an evening, and it's still close enough for me to grab if I need to do it on video, because as you guys know, my room is tiny. Yeah, so I only actually keep a few things in there, and then I throw my current tray and pen in there, which, as we know at the moment, is my gold one. And yeah, then I have sort of set places for things I don't reach as often, but I love having my sort of go-to bits in there. Right, I'm just trying to grab these threes, but I do also have a darker one. This one is not the same colour as the rest, so you're evicted. Tatty bye. Right, question is now, do I go from the middle and spiral out? No, because I know that'll annoy me. Let's go with trying to box this in. I think I actually have the same symbol on both here, so we're doing that one next. Dimitri says, hey Rebecca and Zesties, thank you so much for the WIP and Waffle, and they love this painting so much. Glad you like it. It is now coming to an end, unfortunately, but it is an absolutely gorgeous painting. I think I can do a few multi-placing in this. Marsha says, a couple of weeks ago, she says she is finishing up her June diamond painting. I feel like this is my June diamond painting as well. I kitted it up just before June Waffle, so I'm with you on the finishing up a June painting. Oh, hubby spent July in the hospital and in rehab. Oh, so all of her me time went poof. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. She says then August was catch up on everything. Yes, because everything else always demands the time before me time, does it not? And getting their grandson back in school. She says maybe she can breathe now. Yes, we're on a everything's going to be better from now until the end of the year. It's going to get progressively better. That's what we're all working for. She says she's listened to me. She said, but she just hasn't had the time to diamond paint, or probably the energy either, by the sounds of it. I know when you end up busy, even if somebody's in the hospital and it's not as serious, but like a close family member is in the hospital, even just like visiting and sorting stuff out and not having them about and all that sort of stuff, just takes it out of you. That even when you do have time to sit down, you might have had time to sit down and listen, but it doesn't mean you've had the time or even possibly the inclination to do any diamond painting at the same time. You're just having that little bit of switch off time, but not full on relaxed time because everything's still up in the air. She said today starts the Chuck Along for Chuck Pinson. She dragged her Strength for the Journey out from a couple of years ago to see if she can get it finished. Sorry, my multiplacer. I don't know whether it's the multiplacer or because I'm doing it around ABs. Seems to be having a bit more trouble when it's around ABs. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Let's just get some fours done. get some of these big fat 4s done, and I'm not too fussed about the 2s. Probably do them quicker single placing at the moment. So yeah, she said it's so big for her that she probably won't finish, but she is hoping to put a dent into the work that needs to be done. She says she does so enjoy listening to my WIP and Waffles, even with all my rambling. Bless you. She says whether she can sit and enjoy working along or whether she has to be up and doing things around the house. She says, have a blessed weekend. Well, it sounds like hubby is doing a lot better if things are getting calmer for you, which is absolutely fantastic news. So, say we're all going for things going on the upwards angle for the rest of the year. I think that's what all zesties deserve. Lady Dax, she says, P Jelly is so pleased you're still enjoying your pen. She says, much love always. I am, yes. I still end up picking it up sometimes when I'm sat at my drafting table diamond painting. It is a pen that is in my drawer. So in the drawer of my drafting table, the one that I use. The other one actually held that "We Are Closed" sign for ages. I don't think it's got anything in it at the moment. I actually have an empty drawer. Goodness me. I'm sure I'll find something to go in it soon enough. But yeah, sometimes when I've finished like doing ABs, or if I'm doing a few diamonds before doing ABs, I'll pick that pen up. Or if I'm near the end of a section and it's a load of single placing like confetti bits, then I'll pick that pen up. It's nice to hold and change the grip of what I'm holding as well, because the pen's a bit thinner. So I do like to change up what size pen I'm holding, just to stop my hands sort of, I don't know, feeling like that's the only size pen it ever holds. It works in my head. It works in my head. Pinky says she's doing really well, managing to finish a 40 by 30 or 30 by 40. She said it was a colourful lion and she loves it. She says she ended up buying the 3 tower trolley to put her diamond painting stuff and accessories on it. She says she hopes she's doing well. I love my diamond painting trolley because even though I primarily diamond paint here in my craft room, I have the door open. Hubby's computer is right outside my door. So if he's playing his game, quite often I will diamond paint, and it's, you know, there may be a doorway between us, but there's nothing blocking it. So, yeah, we both get to do our hobbies and be nearby to have conversations and all the rest of it. But if I fancy working on, say, some Paint Gem minis, quite often I will just wheel my trolley out and pop some tool bits in there and pop my diamonds on the top and do some Paint Gem in, well, the conservatory, which is our front room, sitting room area, and yeah, it can just move about wherever, and it's really, really handy. It's really handy when I'm on my drafting table as well, to just pull it out to sit my diamonds on the top, whether I'm working on the far right of a painting or the far left. It can move closer to me because I'm all for not stretching for diamonds all the time. Okay, think I've got all of those. I definitely feel as though we're very much in a confetti section over here. Right, now I am actually going to go for number 2 first, but then I'm not going to go for that M symbol afterwards. I'm going to go for this A symbol. So I'm still doing around the edge. I'm just doing it in a weird way because I'm weird. Melissa, she says Lola loves squirrels. She says she stands still staring at them staring them out, she says, when they decide to break eye contact and run. She says, then Lola runs after them. She says, sorry, memory card saving. She says, the squirrel goes up the tree and Lola tries to follow and then wonders why she falls on her back. She says she does try to tell her that she's a dog, but she still tries to do it again and again. Bless. I am so surprised Luna did not see the squirrel on our conservatory. I'm also so glad, because she gets annoyed enough at birds that sit on the chimney stack. So goodness help me if she spotted a squirrel in a closer vicinity. But yeah, such is a dog's life, is it not? Right. She does get more than you think, though. I did go out and say hello to her, of course, before, and she wanted snuggles, so I sat on the couch and she had snuggles. And then she did her little sit down and flop position that she normally does when she then decides to take a nap, leaning on me. And I did say to her, I said, it's not time for you to go sleep now, I want a brew. And you could just see, just a couple of seconds, and then all of a sudden she went, oh, okay, and sat up. So I'm sure she knows exactly what is going on. You can see it take a few seconds to you know, go into the brain fully. But yeah, she does get more than she lets on, which is why I know she's ignorant sometimes. At 637, she says, thank you so much, she said, for what you said about taking a step back. She said literally. She said to see if she was just being overly critical, she says, with her diamond painting. She says, your response, she said, actually cuts deeper. She says, as it is good advice for life in general. Yes, it is. And it can be hard. It can be very, very hard, especially when there is a lot going on. But sometimes I do, you know, it can depend on the day. So I can receive bad news one day and that's it. You know, I feel like my whole day is disrupted. It's not like it's, you know, full on life devastating news, but it's like bad news on a day when really, frankly, you just can't handle bad news that day. You're just having a flat day, a day of the month, whatever it may be. And it can be sort of just completely off kilter you for whatever reason. And then other days I can receive news that's worse. And I'm not talking like, you know, family members ill type news, just general news that can be bad. And it's like, oh, okay, I can deal with that, you know, and you can just get on with it and deal with it. But yeah, sometimes, quite often, when I do have days where it's like bad news is just like, oh my goodness me, you know, I can't deal with this today type news. Sometimes it is good to just sort of go, do you know what? In the grand scheme of things, in a month from now, is this going to have been something that, you know, I've got over, I've dealt with, whatever it may be. And if the answer is yes, then sometimes it's like, okay, so what can we do with that? And luckily so far, every time I've received news about the delays on the Advent canvas kits, have all been received on days when I can cope with the bad news. So far. We shall see if that changes in the future. But yeah, so far that is very much come on days when I'm like, okay, we just have to deal. Take a step back. We have plenty of time before the December event. There is loads of time. There is still plenty of time for everything to ship out. It is not yet a panic time. And yeah, that's what's getting me through at the moment. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she is doing a rose that her sister-in-law grew in the garden. She says she has a little trick up her sleeve. She says she puts non-stick paper, she says, on her diamond painting, and she lines the paper up into squares into the size that she can manage. She says she also does symbols next to the last ones that she's done. She says, Rebecca, you are the one that helped me get, she says, her happy place back. That is diamond painting. She said, again, she says, thank you from Nellie from Western Australia. Oh, bless you, Nellie. I am so, you won't believe how happy I am that you have been able to get diamond painting again, because I know it can make an absolutely huge difference to many people for many different reasons. But yeah, I'm so happy that you're able to diamond paint and enjoy the process and do your sections one day at a time and just see your picture come to life. Yeah. Grey Legrand, she says she's just Googled, she says, and the grey squirrel, she said, is their official state mammal, she says, in North Carolina. She says she was surprised and not surprised, she says, at the same time. She says there is nothing like hearing a squirrel, she says, jump onto the roof and run across. She says, thank you for today's WIP and Waffle and keeping me company as she works from home. So glad I could keep you company while working from home. There's got to be perks to working from home, apart from the better coffee, of course, and not as big a queue for the loo and all that sort of general stuff that comes with working from home. Yeah, grey squirrels actually aren't native to the UK. They were actually brought over from the US, apparently by some UK bigwig who decided it would be exotic or something to have grey squirrels in his land, on his land, and they basically take over and kill off our red squirrels. So yeah, there are a lot more grey squirrels than red squirrels, and now they try to protect the native red squirrels, something like that. We did hear about it on a nature walk that we took at Centre Parks, because they do their part in the forest to protect the red squirrels, and that's what I remember from it, hence I don't remember all the details. But I remember the general. Cat Lady, she says the reason she has so many crafts, she says, is because she gets bored. She said she was terrible as a child. She said, and her brother reminded her husband when we first got together that she was horrible when she was bored. She says there is a 5-year age gap, she says, between her and her brother. I get that. Even when I'm sat down, I need to be doing something. And that's where hobbies are great. Especially like diamond painting, because you're doing something, and you know, depending on which one you're doing, and of course once you first got to grips with diamond painting, so you know, once you first got your rhythm for placing them and whatever else, it can become a little bit mindless. Like you can just, you know, all you're potentially repeating in your head is the symbol, and you can just plod on and do, and end up with something beautiful after it. You know, it's a bit like knitting or cross stitch or things like that. There's a learning curve, yes, but once you get past that initial learning curve. People can just sit there and do without having to necessarily think too much. And to me, that is my calming time, because I don't have to think to do it, but I'm still doing something, which means I'm happy because I'm doing something, but my brain is actually resting because it's not having to think too much. Whereas when it comes to other things, if I had to do other things, maybe even, looking at a new quilting pattern or something in an evening, nah, my brain needs something quieter, calmer. It needs to do something, but it needs to do something that doesn't involve thinking. So new hobbies are always potentially much better as a weekend task for me. Sorry, I just keep running my hands over this, because if I've got any that need pushing down, especially when I multi-place, I find there's often ones that haven't quite sat flat. I get to push them down. Right, let me get my number 4. Do the middle of this sort of nebula part. Susan, she says she hopes we had a lovely trip. Thank you, we did. She said, as you were placing AB drills, she said she had a thought. She says she believes that there is a market for a product called dirty wax or dirty putty. So true. She said it would sound gross, she says, to anybody outside of our community. She says, but if she wonders if there is a way to combine wax or putty along with dryer lint to make a product that is less sticky. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's why I think the pickup pen will still always have a place in my heart, because it just works for AB diamonds compared to others that don't. But yeah, dirty wax or dirty putty. But wax itself, I've tried using that in a multiplacer and I'm just not liking it. It works for a little bit, but just not long enough when you have huge blocks of ABs to do. She says she's kind of kidding, she says, but kind of not. I get it. I get it completely. She says she hopes everybody here has a wonderful weekend. She says, love from Canada. Yeah, I hope everybody has had an awesome weekend. I'll have been, as you guys are watching this, unless you're a member, of course, I will have been at my first sew day yesterday. Very exciting. Right, I have quite a few clumped together drills in this lot. Now, I could send them out through the spout, but that would be too easy. So I'm going to put them in my little jar from last year's advent and give them a shake, because I do still have the bolts in this. Try and give it a good shake all the ways. Let's try that. Oh, just dropped the jar straight on top of my tray. But yeah, still have the little bolt inside there. Does great for baking up diamonds, especially the likes of these diamonds that actually can come apart sometimes just with my pen. I've only got a couple that are being stubborn. But most of them have split apart. There is a little bit of static with them because I still keep forgetting to put a little piece of dryer sheet in with it. But they're definitely working enough for me to be able to finish this number. Kathinka, she says, hi Rebecca and fellow Zesties. She says, hope everybody is well. She says she personally struggles with her health, which meant she had to stop working, and she's 31. She said, so she struggles with depression, she said, which made it difficult to work. She says she'll now be investigated by a doctor for bipolar. She said, so she hopes to get medication that can make it better for her. I do hope it all works out, whatever it may be. I just hope they find something and some form of treatment that can help you. Because it can be so frustrating, you know, for you. When you know you want things to be different, but it doesn't mean you can wave a magic wand. She says, she says, watching me and diamond painting with me helps. She says, you're a wonderful person and pleasant to listen to. Oh, thank you so much. So glad that I can help, even if it is in just a little way. She says she also has a question. She says, what do you see as a small image or a large image on a diamond painting? She says, and if I have any recommendations on a heaven and earth design painting. She says, sorry for the long comment. She says, lots of greetings from Kathinka in Norway. Oh, thank you, Kathinka. Okay, let me just grab a colour. So I personally, when I say small and large painting, while it is in reference to the size, it's primarily in reference to how I store them. So pretty much 30 by 40 or less I class as small. I do actually have a 30 by 50 included in that. But anything that size I hang up on trouser hangers, and I have it hung up on the wall to the right of me. And so I have got a 30 by 50 in there, because any longer than 50 it would hit my desk, which means it wouldn't be suitable to store in there. And I store them in there because they're primarily my budget paintings, which came rolled up around the diamonds in, like, you know, the cheaper plastic slip covers. So they're what I class as my small paintings, and of course my Paint Gem Minis. That's what I personally class as small. And then my large paintings are anything that I keep in the original box. So I do actually have a Kaiser slightly bigger than 30 by 40. I think it's 35 by 45 painting. Because it's in a box, it's classed as one of my large paintings, and that's how I split them. My small paintings are hung up, my large paintings are in a box. So it's not so much to a reference of, do I think it's a big one to do I think it's a small one? It's mainly how I store them. The Kaiser one I potentially could take out and hang up, and I would class that as a small one normally, but the box is not causing me any trouble tucked down there. In relation to Heaven and Earth design painting, I'm about to start Mini Beautiful Light, which I think is an absolutely gorgeous painting. It only has 15 colours, so if you are wanting to do one, you've never done one before, the fact that it's got less colours could make it a very good sort of first Heaven and Earth design. A lot easier to do than my last one. And, you know, okay, if you watch my Thursday's WIP and Waffle, you'll know that this camera has it in for me, because it has just done exactly the same thing. And batteries cut me off at the last possible annoying time. Anyway, sorry, yes, Kathinka. So, Mini Beautiful Light is a nice one to do. It's got 15 colours, so you're not messing about with different colours too much. I'm trying to find where my sheet of paper is. This one, Mini Beautiful Light, 15 colours in that one. It's still a fairly decent size, but not too big. If that one's not for your liking, have a look at their mini selections. They're nowhere near as gigantic as my other one, which was 2.5 meters long and took 4 years. So yeah, that might be something that'd be good to start with. They do actually have a couple of free charts as well, where you might be able to find something small and nice to start with. Depends how much of a challenge you want. But yeah, hopefully that answers that. Right, on the last day is finished. I will be de-kitting this this upcoming week. So I can't remember if it's Tuesday, I think I've got it down for. Let me have a look. Tuesday. So you've only got 2 days to wait. So I think what I'm going to do is that's as zoomed out as I'm going to stay. I'm going to show you it fully completed on Tuesday when I de-kit this all. And then the following week I will kit up a new one. So next Sunday I think I'm going to work on a paint gem mini. We'll do a little paint gem mini while we are in between projects. I'm not sure whether I'll do a couple of rainbow alphabets, or I may do a national parks or a rainbow set. I will go by my mood on Sunday, or when I'm filming next Sundays. Also, because I have now finished this and there are still some evenings left in the week before my next one will be kitted up, I will of course be doing some paint gem minis as well. So it may be that I just decide to do one that I've not done in the last evening or two. I also may do a section on walking in the rain. I don't want to do too many sections on that because my diamonds and canvas for my Heaven and Earth design are on their way, but they're not here yet. So I might do one section on walking in the rain and then save maybe another one for the following week, or save it until the diamonds and stuff are here and I know I can move forward. But yeah, on the last day is finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this. I am up to comments within the last 2 weeks. So while I still have quite a few comments to go, we are pretty much getting back on top of things, which is absolutely awesome. Because I do like to read your guys' comments, you know, sort of when they're placed, especially when there's lots of little updates on life, etc., that we can all share with each other. But yeah, I have a completion for September. Yay! I did wonder if I was going to get one, but yes, I have a completion for September. So thank you all so much for joining me. Do stay tuned, say next Tuesday. I've got this schedule. I of course haven't filmed it yet because I've only just finished, but I need to get this kitted down and I will show you it all completed. And then of course we'll have a WIP and Waffle. I've got an unboxing that is on its way. And then we've got next Sunday's WIP and Waffle on the paint gem. I will give you updates on the advent painting as soon as I can. Social media first, of course. I will talk about it in WIP and Waffles as we go along. But I keep breathing. We have plenty of time before December 1st. So we're all going to be good. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.